Stop right there. Don't scroll. Don't look away. This moment, yes, this exact second, is not an accident. You didn't just stumble onto this by chance. There is a reason your attention was pulled here, a reason your eyes paused, a reason your spirit felt something stir even before you understood why. Listen carefully, because this message is not for everyone. It is for the one who has been sensing that something isn't quite right lately. It is for you. The one who feels a quiet nudge deep inside but keeps brushing it off, telling yourself you'll deal with it later. You felt it in the silence, haven't you? That unexplainable feeling, like something is trying to get your attention, like a whisper you can't quite hear but can't ignore either. And yet, you've been pushing it aside, distracting yourself, convincing yourself it's nothing important. But what if it is? What if what you've been ignoring is actually the very thing you need to face right now? This is your wake-up moment. Not tomorrow. Not later. Now. Because there are things unfolding around you that you cannot see unless you choose to be aware. There are signs you've already been given. Small, subtle, repeated, but you've overlooked them, thinking they were coincidences. They were not coincidences. And the longer you ignore them, the louder the consequences become. This is not meant to scare you. It's meant to awaken you. Because something is shifting, something is aligning, and if you continue to move through this moment without paying attention, you risk missing something that was specifically meant for you. You, the one listening right now, have been chosen to hear this before it's too late. There is a reason this message found you in the middle of everything else. There is a reason you couldn't just scroll past it like all the others. Something within you recognized that this was different. And you're right. It is different. Because this is not just another voice. This is a call to your awareness, a call to your spirit, a call to stop ignoring what you already feel but haven't had the courage to face. Stay here. Don't leave this moment unfinished. Because what you are about to understand next will reveal why this feeling has been following you and why ignoring it now is no longer an option. You've been carrying something heavy lately, haven't you? Not the kind of weight people can easily see, but the kind that sits quietly in your thoughts and follows you into your quiet moments. You try to stay busy. You try to keep moving, but every so often it catches up to you. It shows up when you're alone, when the noise fades, when there's nothing left to distract you from what you've been avoiding. And in those moments, you feel it clearly. Something isn't settled inside you. Something is pulling at your attention, asking you to stop and face it, but you keep hesitating. There have been specific moments, very real ones, where you felt it stronger than usual. Maybe it was late at night, when everything slowed down, and your mind started replaying things you thought you had already moved past. Or maybe it was in the middle of your day, when something small triggered a feeling that didn't match the situation. A sudden heaviness, a question you couldn't answer, a sense that something deeper was going on beneath the surface. You tried to brush it off. You told yourself you were overthinking. But deep down, you knew it wasn't just that. You've been standing in a quiet tension between two choices. One part of you wants clarity. It wants to understand what this feeling means, what direction you're supposed to take, what needs your attention right now. But another part of you resists it, because you already sense that if you truly face it, something will have to change. And change, even when it's necessary, can feel uncomfortable, even frightening. So you delay. You wait. You tell yourself, I'll deal with it later, when I feel more ready. But notice this: has waiting brought you peace? Has ignoring it made the feeling disappear? Or has it only grown stronger, more persistent, more impossible to fully silence? You've been trying to find balance between comfort and truth. You want to stay where things feel familiar, where you don't have to confront difficult realizations. But at the same time, something inside you knows that staying here is no longer enough. That you've outgrown this space, even if you haven't fully admitted it yet. And that's where the conflict lies within you. You feel the pull forward, but you hesitate to move. You sense the need for change, but you resist taking the first step. You hear the quiet voice telling you to pay attention, but you keep turning the volume down. But what if this feeling isn't here to disturb you, but to guide you? What if this discomfort is not your enemy, but a signal you were never meant to ignore? Listen closely now, because this is where everything begins to intensify, and you cannot afford to miss this. What you have been feeling is not just a passing emotion, and it is not something that will simply fade away with time. In fact, the longer you try to ignore it, the more it quietly grows beneath the surface. Something has already begun shifting in your life, even if you cannot fully see it yet. The patterns around you are changing. Certain doors are slowly closing, while others are beginning to open, but not in obvious ways. It is subtle. It is quiet. And that is exactly why it is so easy to overlook. You may have already noticed small disruptions, moments where things didn't go as expected, or situations that felt slightly off, as if something deeper was at play. Those were not random interruptions. They were signals. They were moments trying to get your attention, trying to redirect you before you move too far in the wrong direction. But here is the truth most people never realize in time. When signals are ignored, they don't stop. They escalate. What starts as a gentle nudge can become a strong push. What begins as a quiet whisper can turn into undeniable disruption. Not to harm you, but to wake you up before it's too late to adjust. And right now, you are standing in that exact space, the space between awareness and ignorance, between responding and delaying. You still have the chance to recognize what is happening. You still have the opportunity to shift your path. But that window does not stay open forever. If you continue to dismiss this feeling, if you keep choosing comfort over awareness, you risk missing something that was specifically aligned for your growth. Something meant to elevate you, to move you forward, to place you where you are truly meant to be. And missing it doesn't always feel like a dramatic loss. It often feels like staying stuck, like repeating cycles, like wondering why things never fully change. This is why you cannot leave this moment halfway. Because what you are sensing is not just about now. It is about what comes next. There is a reason this message is reaching you before things become clearer on the outside. You are being given the chance to respond early, to adjust before the consequences become heavier, before the signs become impossible to ignore. So stay with this. Don't look away. Because what is about to be revealed will show you why all of this has been happening and what you must do before this moment passes you by. Now hear this clearly, because this is the moment where everything begins to make sense. What you have been feeling was never meant to confuse you. It was meant to awaken you. Every restless thought, every moment of discomfort, every time something didn't feel right, none of it was random, and none of it was sent to break you. It was all designed to bring you to this exact point of awareness. You thought you were losing clarity, but in truth, you were being pulled out of what no longer aligns with who you are becoming. What felt like delay was not denial. What felt like silence was not absence. It was preparation. There were things you were not ready to see before, paths you were not ready to walk, truths you were not ready to accept. So you were given time. Time to grow, time to stretch, time to slowly become the person who could handle what is now being revealed to you. And now, the time has brought you here. where ignoring it is no longer an option, because deep inside, you already know. You were never stuck. You were being redirected. Every closed door, every unexpected shift, every moment that forced you to pause, it was all guiding you away from something that could not carry you into your next season. And what you once saw as frustration was actually protection. What you once resisted was actually alignment trying to take place in your life. And now something within you is beginning to change. You can feel it. The same things that once distracted you no longer satisfy you. The same patterns you once tolerated now feel uncomfortable. This is not loss. This is transformation. You are stepping into a version of yourself that no longer ignores what is real, no longer avoids what is necessary, no longer settles for what feels safe but untrue. From this moment forward, clarity begins to replace confusion. Direction begins to replace hesitation. You start to notice things differently. You begin to respond instead of delay. And most importantly, you trust what you feel instead of silencing it. Because now you understand, it was never there to mislead you. It was there to guide you all along. This is your shift. Not something far away in the future. Not something reserved for another time. It begins the moment you choose to see differently, to listen deeply, to act with awareness instead of fear. The version of you that has been waiting on the other side of this realization is no longer distant. It is here, ready to rise the second you stop ignoring what you already know to be true. Now this is where your decision matters. You've heard the truth. You felt it resonate deep inside you. So don't let this be another moment you walk away from unchanged. This message found you for a reason, and you already know that. It was never random. It was never accidental. It was meant for you. The one who feels deeply, the one who senses before others do, the one who knows when something is calling for attention. So now, respond. Type "I will not ignore this" in the comments as your declaration that you are stepping into awareness, that you are choosing clarity over avoidance, that you are no longer turning away from what you feel. Because people like you don't stay asleep when truth finds them. People like you rise when it's time. And as you step into this awareness, understand this: what you do next doesn't just affect you. There are others out there, just like you were, waiting for a message like this to reach them at the exact right moment. This is where your action becomes something greater. When you choose to support this mission, you are helping this message travel further, like seeds being sown into hearts that are ready, but still searching. God says, as you give, it shall be given back to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This is not just a verse. It is a living promise over your obedience right now. If you feel it in your spirit, say it within yourself: I am called to help this message reach someone who needs it. And as you act on that, know that your giving becomes a river, not a drop, flowing into lives you may never see, but heaven fully records. Do not hesitate in this moment. This is not just support. This is alignment. The PayPal link is waiting for you in the description, and even in the QR code on your screen. Step into it without delay. As you give, you are not losing, you are planting. And every seed you release in faith will return to you in ways you cannot yet imagine. Blessings will find you. Doors will open. Peace will follow you. So act now. So now. Woo now.